Hello, everybody. Welcome to another podcast episode on M2M session. So this is a bonus episode on the Confession of a Young Man season, and this particular episode is titled the Playboy. So for two major reasons, I've been trying not to talk about this particular thing. In fact, if you notice from the last episode, I had said that there would be no other episode on the confession. But as the week went on, and in fact earlier on today, there was something else I wanted to probably share away from the confession of a young man, because series of persons have already been reaching out, and I already have confessions from other young men, who have decided that they will share their story also. So, Confession of the Young Man season 2 will soon be out, and it's going to be the confession of young men. It's going to be my story alone. So I'm giving a platform to every young man who has probably gone through a whole lot, different experiences, some persons similar, but I want them to also share their own part of the story. You see, when we talk about these things, we lift up the weight that we've been carrying for years. We open our scars to the world, and you see, it becomes a proof that we have healed. Yes, it becomes a proof that we've healed. Because if your scar can be touched and you feel nothing, it means the wound has healed. So therefore we become naked and not ashamed. So in the near future, someone may come and say, you used to do this, you used to do that, and we'll boldly tell them, yes, that used to be yours, but now we are different. We are a different type of person. We've changed. We are no longer that person. We've been transformed. We've changed for good. So this particular episode, trust me, it was really a struggle to have even accepted, when I was inspired to share it. It was really a struggle to have even accepted and decided to do it. But nonetheless, here I am. Here I am about to talk about it. So I'll go as way back as when I was in secondary school. You all know my story that I was molested at the age of 2. Some of the things I did, I've already shared them as a result of the molestation. But this particular one is far from the molestation, because you see, while I was still in secondary school, class 3, what we call over here junior secondary school 3, JSS 3. That's when I was in my first relationship. Yeah, that was when I was in my first relationship. That was 12 years ago, way back in 2009. So it so happened that there were these two girls. The pressure, first of all, it started by, everybody in my class, every guy around me, they were dating somebody. Everybody had a girlfriend. So it was either I was the odd one out, or I had to get a girlfriend. So there were these two girls that I saw them and I like, okay, I like them. My spec for a woman is fair ladies. Fair ladies. I think I've had a longer relationship with fair ladies than the dark ones. So how I got into my first relationship was after I met two of them. I went back home. I wrote their names. Funny. I wrote their names on a sheet of paper. Tore it apart, 2 different sheets of paper. And then I drew a circle on the floor. I drew 2 big circles on the floor, and I put their papers in the circle. And I took 10 steps behind me. And the plan was I would run towards it, and I would jump, and I would land on one leg rather, and the leg with my eyes closed, and that happened. So I took 10 steps behind me, and I ran towards the 2 circles, and I jumped up. My eyes were closed, and I stretched out my right feet, and I landed. So when I landed, I opened my eyes, and I saw that I landed at the left circle. I'm going to say the name because majority of my friends already know the person. And the name of the young girl in the first circle. I wouldn't say the name of the second person because after the incident I never spoke to her about anything. So I landed, and her name is Sophia. So that's the name of the first girl I was ever in a relationship with, and we dated for 5 good years. After the incident, I had to approach her the next day. Okay, no, I didn't approach her. I picked up my phone that same evening and I called her. Back then, we were using landline. Yeah, I don't know which phone she was using, but over at my house, only my parents were using. That was when Nokia 3310 touchline Nokia was reigning, and we also had a landline phone. So I made the call to her, through a landline. I dialed her number and she picked, and then we spoke. I can't remember exactly how I proposed, but I just said it, those sweet words and everything, then said it. Then the next day we met at the staircase in our school. We were in the same school, Unica International Secondary School. We met at the staircase, and that's where she gave me an answer. She said she was going to think about it. And then at the staircase we met, and she stood up, I stood down, just close to each other. Then she said yes. That was the first time a girl said yes to me. It really changed a whole lot. I felt love. As a young boy, I felt love. And then she gave me a peg. I'll never forget it. We were even too shy. We met at the end, at the close of school. School had closed. Yeah, so we were even so shy to even kiss. So she gave me a peg. I remember the first picture I ever took. I was doing a sports day. Snap, I still have that picture. You need to see the way we stood to snap the picture. We didn't even start close. There was a ball in our middle. She stood on one side, I stood on the other side, then we held the ball. Okay. So we communicated through letters. We wrote ourselves love letters, we shared pictures with ourselves. She sent me pictures of her. Now I mean hard copy. You see, there was no smartphone back then. There was no smartphone back then. So she would send me hard copy pictures of herself whenever we meet, and send herself letters. I will also share mine with her. And she didn't stay up to SS3. She moved to another school, and then from there she moved out of the country. So we could barely see, So it became a long distance relationship. We would communicate as often as possible. And at some point, I just couldn't wait anymore. We were still dating, but I was also dating other persons. I don't know about her, but later on, in the process, I felt like, all my friends were telling me, guy, date someone else. This girl will obviously be dating someone else. We believe that if you're in a long distance relationship, date someone else. No partner can be faithful. So that is what I thought that way, because I was also doing it. It was later on, after we broke up, that I came to realize that, wow, this young girl did not date anybody. You see, I was the one that was going around playing around with people, till date. I think after we broke up, she now dated one guy, and since then, and when you find a loyal lady, man. But it's not about that. So back to me. Before this, we turn to a love or a relationship podcast. So I'm talking about the Playboy now. So that's how the Playboy started. I couldn't wait, I couldn't deal with a long distance relationship. No, but trust me, right now, I had to go through a lot of processes. And before, I used to think that I won't do long distance relationship because of that experience. But now, whatever gives, if I find the one, we can deal, we can settle. So after I met another girl, now for that person, I would not mention their name. One major reason why I won't mention their name is because I can't remember all their names. Oh God, I can't remember all their names. I can only remember a few persons' names. No, honestly, sincerely, I have dated so many girls in the past that I can't even remember their names. I remember one person. We were so close. Everybody got to know us. We were so famous. We had the same name, We would go back after school. She would come over to my school on Saturdays when I'm going to be preparing for exam. She would be there. She was like a perfect distraction, So rather than me focusing on reading my book, I'll leave my house and tell my parents that I'm going to read. But I'm not going to read. I'm going to spend time with my girlfriend in class, because everybody was doing it. I mean, why will I be the only one going to class and then other of my friends, they are there with their girlfriends? So I carry my babe, So that's what happened. So at the point, I noticed that she was also cheating on me. So one of those days after we finished, I just gave her a plain flat breakup. It was very, very heartbreaking. Plain flat breakup in a cab. I would never forget her cousin called me. Like her cousin called me asking me to explain why I would break her. Her cousin's heart. She really loved me. I know that one. Despite that fact that she was cheating, But what gave? So there were other persons, there were other girls. I remember there was one other person. We never really, really dated. We just flirted, I never asked her out, but it just happened. One of those nights, we just spent a very long time kissing under a tree. Wow. Then there's another person, I didn't ask them out, I didn't ask her out. Still the same kissing also under the tree. There's something about tree, love. Then another day, there was another person also. She was so much into me. She wasn't making the move, but a friend of mine told me that this girl is crushing on you. I saw that as an opportunity, so I went in. She took good care of me, she really handled a lot of my needs. At one point we almost had sex in the house, but for the fear that her parents would come back early, so we just cut it short. We didn't go further. Then there was another girl in the picture. I got to realize this one was also so much into me. I didn't also want to date her, so just took her on the ride. I remember one of those nights, as late as 8 p.m. I left the house, ran to meet her. It was a long walk. I went to meet her. She was in a party, so she came out. We stood we stood under the tree again and we kissed. Funny enough, the next person that I dated, I don't want to talk about this tree thing again. What is it with trees? What is it with me and trees? Back then, it felt like it was so easy. Most of them, I remember there were some situations where some of them, they were so vulnerable at that point. They found me as a point, they are talking to me, sharing some things with me, and in the process of me consoling them, since they're all in tears, I would, lean forward and then give them a kiss. I remember one girl, a friend of mine, my very good friend, broke up with her. So she was in need of emotional need, and I reached out to her, consoled her. We saw the first day that we saw, she was still crying. Why could you have done this? And she was my senior back in secondary school. I dated my seniors also here. So my senior, I just went there and consoled her. I was in her house. She sat on my leg. And then the next thing you knew, we were all over each other, and that's how we just dated. And before it never lasted. It was just for the fun. It was all about the fun. Yeah, I also remember someone else. There was someone while I was dating my the second girl in the second girlfriend. This girl began to spread rumors about me, to this my girlfriend. I think that was what made her to start cheating on me. She started spreading rumors that I am asking her out. I think they were both close friends, and at that point they were going through issues. So in a bid for her to spite her, she said that I am now asking her out. You know what happens when ladies fight and quarrel. So she brought me into the picture, and the next thing, this young lady came and was confronting me. I was like, hey babe, I this girl you're talking about, I've never ever met her. I don't even know her from anywhere. And the news spread. The news spread everywhere that and she didn't even say that I was asking her. She said that I was dating her. So this other girl, in a bid to get back at me, because she didn't believe me that much. A bit to get back at me, she dated someone else. It was for her on her part. I believe that it was a mistake. I believe it was a mistake, but because of that, it led her to go and date someone else to get back at me. So when she eventually found out that I didn't even know this girl, she was still trying to get out of the relationship. So in the process of her getting out of the relationship, the news broke out, and I got to hear that she was dating someone else. I confronted her. The mistake that she did was that she lied about it. She was not truthful. She dragged until I got her phone and I saw the message. That's when I started losing, the desire and the interest for that particular relationship, and that's it. So this girl that spread the news, I think like 3 years after I broke up with this her friend, I had to look for her. I looked for her. Man, you can't spread a rumor that I'm dating you. You can't lie about me. I have to make it true. That's how I was. If I hear a lie about me, and the lie is a sweet lie, you will not go scot-free, because I have to do it to be justified. That was how I was living my life back then, Yeah, so So I went in search of her. I remember I took her to a fast food. I told her, I was like, wow, so you actually did this, you plotted this and all that. She apologized, she admitted to it, and after everything, there and there, I asked her out. My God. I asked her out, I asked her out. And she was like, let me think about it. And then I pulled the fast one on her and I said, hey, there's something I've realized about you girls, that when you say you would think about it, you would not actually think about it because you have already made up your mind when I've already asked. So you want to make it look like you are thinking about it. So can you tell me what the answer is? Because I know that what I'm feeling for you, you are also feeling the same thing about me. Smooth move. I nailed it. She said yes right there, and we started dating. It was a hot, sweet ride. However, it didn't last though. But for this particular person, 2 years ago, or is it last year? I can't remember. One of either of them. We kind of reconnected again, rekindled some old burning passion, went intimate, hooked up, but that was all. It was just a one night stand and nothing else. Since then, we haven't spoken again. So, I'm going to end it. Well, I'm going to end here, trust me. This is the few I can remember. It got to a point 2 years ago. I would just be meeting people on the road and I would be like, wow, I had a thing with this person. Wow, I had a thing with this person. Wow, I had a thing with this person. So, a couple of years back, I think my life changed. My life changed and took a new shift. Yes, in 2013, 8 years ago. 8 years ago, my life changed and took a new shift, and I saw all the things I was doing, and I came to realize that this wasn't good enough. This wasn't good at all. So I had to ask myself, all these young girls that I am breaking their hearts, what if their father found out? Or what if in the nearest future I become a father and they are doing all this to my daughter or my daughters? As a father, how will I react? And I said that if I am the one and if I catch any young boy that breaks my daughter's heart, I will chop your leg. I will chop your leg. What do you mean by that? But you see, I have to start thinking about the future. How will I react if I get to find out, if I get to find out that a small boy from somewhere broke my daughter's heart? Man, I'm gonna skin your ass. So I now told myself, Anna, if as a father you would not appreciate this, then trust me, their fathers will not also appreciate it. So don't do it anymore. So I had to ask myself, okay, so now how can I correct this? How can I prevent this? How can I prevent this from happening? Because people say, do unto others what you want to be done unto you. Yes. The way you would like to be treated, treat others too. It's a golden rule of life. It's a golden rule of life. So, for the last 8 years, every young lady that has come into my life, I made up my mind not to take advantage of any one of them. Even when I had the opportunity to, even when my sexual urges were heightened, even when they were already falling head over heels for me, all the feelings I had for them, I buried it, I killed it, I strangled it. Literally. There were people that were found themselves in situations that their hearts were broken or they were going through some issues, and they would cry on my shoulders, and that was a perfect opportunity, to lean in and reach out, and re-engage the Playboy. But I had to terminate the Playboy early enough so that no boy would play on my daughters. Because you see, in life, everything starts with an investment. Everything starts with a seed. the plant, the tree that we see started as a seed. What you plant is what you will harvest. You cannot plant a mango seed and expect to harvest an orange tree. And expect to harvest orange from its tree. You cannot plant an apple seed and expect to harvest pineapple. No, everything starts with a seed. So I realized the seed I had planted. It took me just 4 or 5 years to plant that particular seed. I was a playboy for 4 straight years. 4 good years. I would have still been a playboy if not that my life changed, Yeah. So 2009 up until 2012, that's 4 good years. So by 2013, there were still traits of the playboy. I didn't change totally. It was a process. It was actually a process. I had to make up my mind that this will not happen to my generation. This will not happen to my generation. So I had to start sowing and start planting a fresh seed. And what was the seed? The seed I was planting was I would be there for every young girl that comes into my life. I would be a genuine friend to them, and I will also help them get out of messy relationships. You can ask some of thy female friends, well, maybe, I don't know, probably, I don't know. If majority of my female friends want to testify about me, one thing they would say is that I helped protected them up against their messy relationship. Most times they did not really take my advice, but if probably after advising them and they still went on to do the wrong thing, I would always come back. I would never condemn them. I would be there to encourage them and tell them, wow, okay, let's move on. I would help them move on. There have been persons that had to help them break out of some messy relationship, had to go the extra mile, to even confront the guy in picture. I've had female friends that their male friends accuse me that I was dating them, but you see, that was all to protect them. You see, these are the things that I have done to ensure that years from now, when I'm a father and I have my own kids, I will not always be there working with them. They would have their own experiences. But for the last 8 years, I have planted a new seed, which I am confident of, that when my daughters are in need, when they are vulnerable, nobody will take advantage of them. Rather, they would have gifts of friends like I am. The same way I have been good friends to my female friends, the same way that my daughters would have good male friends that will be there for them genuinely. There have been persons I have liked, literally had feelings for them in the process, but I had to tell myself, no, this is not it. In fact, there were people that I thought that, okay, wow, I like this person, I want to be your boyfriend, I like to start a relationship with you. But after they said no, I saw that they wanted to keep me in their life and they had some things to share. I stayed there and I helped them grow. No strings attached. I wasn't doing it because I want them to say yes. No. Genuine friendship, not because I want them to say yes. Some of them up to now, I'm not even dating them. Have been there for them as a friend, helping them grow, stand strong and firm. So that's the story of me as a playboy. I ain't playing no more than anybody, And I hope that as many of you who are listening to me, and you would also probably you're tired of flirting, because you see, when you stay so much in flirting, when you stay so much being a playboy, it will be difficult for you to get into a serious relationship. See, this is one of the things that has prevented some guys from settling down early. Why? Because you've seen a whole lot of girls and you've not really defined your ideal woman that you want to spend your life with. The only thing that is running through your mind is just enjoying, flirting, flexing, enjoying them, and then going. And probably, just probably, when you may feel like, okay, it's time for you to get married, everybody that comes your way, you'll be suspecting them. You start thinking that no girl can be faithful to a guy because you've never been faithful to a guy, and all of that. Everything starts with a seed. It's never too late for you to stop being a flirt. It's never too late for you to stop being a playboy. Life is much more serious than that. Those pleasures, those enjoyments, there are much more greater things to conquer in life. So I believe that season 1 of The Confession of the Young Man has really, really, really been a blessing to you and has really helped you. As many of you that have been reaching out, encouraging, I still look forward to hearing more from you people. So I send my best regards to every single one of you, and the world will also hear of your story.